All right, guys, we're live. Welcome to episode 12 of Luna Podcast. Today's topic, it's on modern feminists. It's a big attack on masculinity as a whole. And I felt like I needed to voice this opinion of myself and many men out there that are truly trying to combat this push on feminists. And this might be the most controversial episode that I do have. I don't care. This is information that I want to put out there. That's really important. So that way, both genders could see what's really happening in the world today, where a small percentage of women, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I talk shit on this podcast episode, I'm not trying to talk shit about all women. This is just a very small percentage of women that's truly ruining it for the good women out there, the ones that actually respect masculinity and respect the patriarchy. So I'm going to show you guys an intro video here. All credit to Pearl. I don't know if you guys have heard of Pearly Things. Her team made this video, but she herself, she's been pushing a lot on these type of women as well. And there's a lot of people that, are part of this movement to fight this and put it back to where the fuck it belongs, in fucking hell, because this is honestly what I feel like is destroying society as a whole. Because I always talk about it, masculinity will save everything. Like, it will keep everything in order. And the nuclear families will be back. Women are going to respect men again. It's going to be so much benefits for everybody in both genders. It just really is. And take this podcast episode with an open heart. I always tell you this, guys, on all these episodes. Just truly take this with an open heart. Try not to get too, how can I say, defensive or angry at me, because I'm just truly trying to expose what's really happening in the world today. So without further ado, I'm going to show this video so that way you guys could see it. It is 5 minutes long, so you guys could watch it, skip through it, or go through any parts of it, but it's a must-see video.
There's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question: do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no.
Because men are useless.
This headline from The Hill, it caught my eye. Most young men are single. Most young women are not.
Young men have fallen faster than any demographic in America over the last 40 years.
It's a different world now. Like, we don't need men the way that they used to.
Nobody needs men!
The future is female.
Men and women are drifting further apart, and society is crumbling because of it.
A fascinating debate has broken out about the value of marriage.
You've kind of got the trad con versus red pill thing.
This men's rights crowd that sometimes just goes too far the other way.
You need to stop acting like grown boys and infants and actually become men.
Marriage is a bond, and it's a sacred bond.
It's a machine designed to extract resources from you.
Now many of the red-pilled have taken the position that it's bad for men to get married.
Hannah Pearl Davis, or just Pearly Things.
One of the most controversial faces in all of the internet.
She goes on to say that marriage is a terrible deal for men.
Because if me and you were in a business contract, you would never sign a contract where I am paid to leave.
Gee, what could go wrong there?
74% or something of divorces are initiated by women. Men have everything to lose, primarily their own children.
Men get killed by the courts and by divorce laws.
I had no idea that courts of family law were courts of equity, not courts of law.
Because in family court, you don't need evidence to accuse someone of abuse. You need no evidence. When you guys say get married young, a lot of these men don't know what they're signing up for, and you're not going to be there when their entire life falls apart. I interview them on the other side.
I didn't meet my son until he was 15 months old.
How much did you spend trying to get him back?
On legal fees alone was about $200,000.
Before you know it, you're homeless. You're literally just thrown out onto the street.
We absolutely reinforce bad behavior from women.
Wives are taught to leave their husbands, and then daughters grow up without their fathers.
Family is the foundation of society.
Every problem in society comes from single mother homes.
A lot of women will just chase this negative rabbit hole of happiness, endless happiness.
Feminism's biggest failures is it lies to women. We tell women to date as many guys as possible. We tell them to put off family and a marriage.
You are allowed to leave your perfect husband. You are allowed to end a relationship with a really great boyfriend.
Oh, freeze your eggs, have an abortion. What? You're evil.
I don't think there's anything else in life that we actually ever go into preparing to fail.
Right.
Like if you have the mentality of this is going to go wrong and be pessimistic, naturally the outcome is going to be that it's going to fail anyway. Yeah. It's self-sabotage.
And that's the thing, like women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
This myth that we live in an age of male privilege. Where's my male privilege?
They think, well, men have all the rights. They have all the power.
Privileged patriarchal system that we have.
Why doesn't our society care about men's rights?
I have no friends,
no wife, and no social life.
Men are alone in this situation. Men are homeless. Men are thinking about eating guns.
I've seen so many men on the brink of suicide and they didn't do anything wrong.
How are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure.
Women are helplessly dependent upon men.
The so-called deaths of despair from suicide, overdose, to alcohol, 3 times higher among men than among women.
Culture is telling men, you are no good.
You got to get your act together.
I think men have failed themselves.
What kind of a man are you? What kind of a woman are you going to attract?
If men are in trouble, so are women.
Everybody knows this is a huge problem, but nobody wants to admit it.
Every single woman at the table said they wanted a man.
500K,
500K,
200K,
300K,
200K.
Am I crazy?
Everything is really set up against you to fail as a man.
If men make less than women, women don't want to marry them.
So you know who wants more economically and emotionally viable men? Women.
I don't want to be an independent woman anymore.
I don't want to be a strong, independent woman.
I'm over it.
When is it going to be my turn?
Where are we meeting the men that don't stop? I can't keep having these same conversations.
The only simp here is you, Pearl. You simp for men.
I think you simp for women.
She's a provocateur. She says stupid stuff, but Pearl is right about this.
It's already happening. It's just not out in the open yet.
Now it's just hookup culture is going to be our fairy tale ending because men don't want a wife and women can't find a husband.
The future, if everybody follows your path, is there is no future.
We go into population decline and our economy goes into decline.
Civilization will crumble.
The American story does not end well. This is an existential crisis, failing young men.
All right, so let me get this back on here. So that video was a lot, right? It's very powerful. It's very moving. And the very first time that I saw it, man, it hit me because I've faced the repercussions because of feminists myself. I've seen my closest friends go through it and even family. And it's honestly one of the reasons why I felt like I needed to voice myself and become an anchor for men and try to help them out as well. And it's truly crushing to see what men have to go through. And honestly, it's because of this small percentage of women. But I just hate saying it because it's a poison that's everywhere. I touched base on this on the last episode on how women could attract a high value guy. And the thing is that women are the easiest to influence and to manipulate. And if they have really toxic friends, single friends, and friends that are just not doing good, it influences them as a whole. So I praise the women that protect their peace, that are not involved with these type of women and these friend groups that are just toxic and gossiping and just really putting men down. And this is where the saying comes, is that women cannot take accountability. But it's just this percentage of women that cannot take accountability because they go out to the world, they do everything that they want to do, and there's no consequence. And without consequence, women like this are going to keep doing it through the years. And through this entire episode, when I talk about women, I'm basing this on this small percentage of women. I'm not just talking as a general for all women, because I know that there's really good women out there that truly are feminine and believe in the patriarchy, that believe that masculinity should exist in the world to keep it in order. Because look what it's caused. Look at the hookup culture. Look at the stories that you hear of infidelity. Look at the stories that you hear of your friends doing some crazy ass shit whenever she was on a girls trip. Like, this has become the norm. So why is this the case? I know why. The influence. Look at what women look at. The TV shows, even the books that they read. You know, like what's that? Those books that women read. I can't think of it right now, but it's the sexual ones, the ones that just fantasize of stuff. I think even that is really dangerous to women that are not disciplined mentally, because I feel like those books, it's like watching porn, but through your mind, because it's just sexualizing a fantasy, and women create this space in their head thinking that that's reality. You know, going back to what I said, this small percentage of women, and they're the ones that get influenced the most. And I think that they lead with that into society, and it's destroying families. It's destroying relationships. It's destroying marriages at an all-time high. I know right now divorce rates have dropped, but it's because nobody's getting married. The percentage right now, it's like what, 54, 55% on average of people getting divorced, which is what, 70, 80% of women leaving the marriage. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even if we put the numbers there, like in front of us, out of those 70 to 80% of women leaving, where do you think that came from? You know, let's just separate the infidelity affair cases, you know, because most women, they'll leave if the man cheats. So let's just call that 20% of those cases. That leaves you with 60%. It's still more than half. And I feel like women, they get influenced the most, and they still continue to do so. And it causes them to do actions behind it. And with this feminist movement, it's truly destroying them. For you guys that follow me through my social media, like Instagram and Facebook, I touched base on this before. There's a reason why I was attacking Taylor Swift. There's a reason why I attack certain women that are famous. But it's because I see other women support her, and they see what she does in her life. There's many examples I could give, but women, they'll put these women as idols. For a long time, look at the Kardashians. How many women were trying to get boob jobs, BBLs, now it's lip injections. But you see where we're going at, right? Like, most women now are doing these things. Why? Because of influence. Like, influence doesn't affect men like the way it does with women. It really doesn't. Like, I can't really think of anything on top of my head that a guy did something because of influence of what they saw on TV. Most guys, we watch fucking Game of Thrones. Like, we're not going to go out there and fucking with their axes and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, women are the ones that get influenced. So this is the problem. And I've talked about it in the last episodes. You have to be careful who your friend groups are, who you listen to, especially about your problems. There's many cases where women have stepped out from the marriage all because their friend that's single told her to leave. I've heard of many cases like that, even just in my own like circle, that I've heard of friends that do that. Influence is a motherfucker, especially if you do not have discipline as a woman. And to the men that are listening, these are the type of women that you have to avoid. Just because she's hot, just because you're attracted to some part of her body, her face, anything like that, because women like this, they don't have personality. And if they do, they have a mask on. That's why, as a man, you have to be masculine. I talk about it all the time. You have to be at your top game, because if you're not, how are you going to be able to understand that this woman could be bad or good for you? You have to be in a position of power and experience to know the nature of women, because if you don't, you're going to get fucking destroyed by them. You see it all the time out there. Look at Johnny Depp. Look at what Amber Heard did to him. There's many examples. Daddy Yankee, the wife wants to take all his fucking money. And the thing is like, most of these guys that I'm talking about, they're not truly masculine men, top value guys as a whole. They might be rich, but as a whole, like I'm talking about finances, gym, looking good, understanding the nature of women. That's the one that most people miss. Look at Travis Hunter. Probably the best college player to come out from the draft this last year. But he has a really shitty woman next to him. I don't know who the fuck she is, but because based on what is out there and it's public, you know that's going to end up in a train wreck. There was many celebrities that came out and said, run for your life, leave her behind. Because these type of women, they're almost easy to scope out and see who they are. They're really easy to scope out now. But it's just most guys, they don't know how to realize it until it's too late. Until she's bagging somebody else, divorcing him, and his life is ruined. And now he's lonely, and now he wants to pull the trigger on his face. Think about that. It's the worst time. Because you have to question the woman you're with if she has certain belief systems, and all depending on how she carries herself. And even then, that's not enough, because you got to see where she gets her influence from. Like, it's become really difficult for a man to find a wife now. I know the last episode I talked about women are struggling to find a good man. But the thing is that I think women have a higher chance of finding a good man. It's just that they're being picky and they're looking at the top 20% of men. Men, on the other hand, they'll settle for whoever gives them peace. They really will. Women are extremely more picky with selecting the man that they're with. That's just facts. Honestly, it is. Because think about this. When a woman goes on a date, she's already trying to disqualify that man. Is he short? Is his beard too long? Oh, I don't like the way his nose is shaped. Oh, I don't like the way this looks. Like, they're already disqualifying him. A man is just happy, because most guys, they don't have much options. They really don't. So when they go on a date, they're in heaven for the most part. And I'm talking about more like 80% of the guys. The 20% of guys, of course, they have an abundance. So like, they know how to select. But I'm talking about the majority of the guys. They're more appreciative of the woman that's in front of them. And they're going to be more loving, I think, at the end of the day. You guys might have dealt with losers. But then again, you know, there's bad apples. But I do believe that there's way more good men out there than there is good women. Because good men, they don't get influenced to having this mentality of like, oh, we don't need women. When have you heard that ever before? A push on men saying that we do not need women. When have you heard that before? You see the interviews from the streets where when they're like, on the guys that they ask them, do we need women? And they're like, yeah, we need women. And we do need women. I love women. And I respect them. The good ones, not the bad ones. But look at the interviews with the women. Most of them are like, oh, we don't need men. You hear it all the time. Look at the video, the intro video. The View, they're all feminists. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to know a feminist based on what they say and their actions. And these are cues that I'm giving you guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, that video was so powerful, because there's a lot of videos that say it's okay to leave your husband. It's okay to leave your perfect life. That's feminist. They want to destroy the nuclear family. They want to destroy society because they want power. They want to be above. It's destroying society. It's going to plummet the numbers of babies and population to even grow. On the video, it showed it, that it's on a decline because women are just being independent boss bitches. And they say that they don't want to have a husband or a man next to them because they could do it all by themselves. And there's studies that say that women are graduating a lot more at a faster pace in college. They're the ones getting more degrees. But the thing is that even for college, what happens in college? Besides you earning a nice little certificate for your wall. They have the frats, all the fucking groups and shit like that. There's parties and they get ran through. Most women that go through college, I'm not saying all, but most, by what I've heard, by what I've seen. I used to go to Boulder, Colorado when I was younger with my cousin. He was there and I saw what happens in college parties. So most women are getting ran through while they're getting their degree. So what happens with this? They graduate. They already have a high body count. They already have a really good certificate, a bachelor's, master's, doctorates, whatever. But that means that you're putting yourself in a very small bracket on the top for women. So what that means is that you're going to earn X amount, say $120K a year. And I've talked about this before on hypergamy. Women want to look up. So what this means is that women are going to want a man that makes more than her. Because there's already research that says if a woman makes more than the man, it's an indicator for divorce. That's what I'm saying. Like, when women come out, yeah, that's great. You're going to earn a lot, but you're shooting yourself in the foot to find that high value guy because you're ran through. And only, I looked at the stats just recently. I forgot the number. It was very low. I think it was like 13-14%, maybe lower, of men in America that make over 130K a year. It was like 12-13%. It's very fucking low. So like 1 out of 10 guys. So the woman is shooting herself in the foot because now she's going to struggle to find a husband. So that's why, I don't know if you guys saw that speech that kicker from the Chiefs. He said something of embrace being at home, being the housewife, doing the wife duties. And he got hit so hard by the feminist community. But for good reason. It's because he was pretty much telling women that it's okay. You don't have to get a degree. Like, women are out here trying to get all this money and they're shooting themselves in the foot to not get a husband, or at least a husband of value. You'll find a husband, but he's gonna be making way less than you. And in a few years, you're not going to respect them anymore. You're going to dump them because you're going to want the alpha that makes a lot of fucking money. This happens all the time. So that's why these stats are really important to look at. Especially for women that are truly trying to find a good guy. But if you become modernized by this fucking feminist movement, it's only going to hurt you. You're not going to be able to attract that good guy. And most men, they're going to be like, fuck no, I'm not going to deal with that. Most guys right now, I would hope, that are catching to this on this drift of how women are. And just understand for the women, just because you hooked up with a millionaire, just because you hooked up with somebody that's successful, owns businesses or whatever, just because you hooked up with them doesn't mean that he wants to marry you. If he wanted to marry you, he would have been treating you different. Because the thing is that most of these guys, they're not giving you the ring. They're not. And if they do, knowing that you have bad traits, he's a beta male. He's a cuck. Like, that's why, I spoke about this on the last episode. You have to know what type of guy you're with as well. Because I've seen a lot of rich guys. They'll propose to young women, and then the woman ends up fucking draining him of all of his money. And he's there like, what the fuck? But he doesn't understand the nature of women. That's what I'm saying. Like, women lose respect on these type of men in the long run. It's not going to last. Like, look at the case with Bill Belichick. I think the girl was like 24. He's already like 73. I think it was like a 40 year difference. And that train is going to fucking wreck somewhere in the future. Maybe a year or two, maybe less. But the thing is that a woman has to respect you. And when the more I see that case with Bill Belichick, she has no respect for him. Like, you could tell. But because he doesn't understand the nature of women. He just knew how to win Super Bowls, which is amazing. But the thing is he doesn't understand women, and he's gonna get ran through. The woman's gonna take all his money, and he's already at a fucking very late time in his life, where this could just destroy him, and who knows how that's gonna end up. That's how I'm telling you guys, like, for men and women that are listening, feminist is destroying society. Look at the movement with Lily Phillips, the one that slept with like 1,000 men. That's disgusting. And she actually came out on a podcast saying that she wants to have a family in the future. Like, are you fucking kidding me? And the thing is, it sucks because there's always a Captain Save-A-Ho. There always is a beta male that's going to just save these fucking hoes. I hate saying it, but that's why you have to know, if you're a woman listening to this, you have to know if you're going to want to settle for a beta that you're going to get tired of in a year or two. Or you want a masculine man that's going to protect you and you're going to respect for the rest of your life, because he's going to give you the life that you deserve. It's all based on your actions. Whatever you do today, it's going to be a ripple towards the future. So if you're doing bad things right now, it's going to matter in the future to the right man. And for the men that are looking for quality women, you have to look at her past. It's going to dictate how the future is going to be. People don't change just instantly. Habits are created through how we think as human beings. And if those habits are very detrimental, you're in for a train wreck. You're in for something that's going to just truly destroy your life. And especially if you have kids. And that's what sucks. Most cases like this is that, and I'm pretty sure most people could relate that are listening, but they've been married, they're married in a relationship where you're with somebody and you feel like you're stuck, like you can't respect your partner anymore, but you still decide to stay because of the kids. And this information I'm giving it to you guys, it's more for the people that haven't been married or that are looking for somebody, because you could avoid this. But once you're in too deep, you have one or two choices. You either leave or you try to save the relationship. But sometimes there's relationships that I've seen that you can't really save, especially if there was infidelity from the woman. But only the beta males are the ones that stay. A woman cannot respect the beta male. It's impossible. And this is part of the feminist movement. So most of the cases like this, feminists that know that they're with the beta husband, they do not divorce them because they're not done doing their fuckery. You see a lot of cases like that. I'm sure most of you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of cases where women, they'll stay in relationships and you know that woman's doing some fuckery shit, but you're like, why don't they divorce? Even sometimes when they don't even have kids, you're like, why don't they divorce? But you look at the man, nothing masculine about him. He looks like he's just a pushover. But the woman is like, you know what? I'm still able to eat the cake. Or what's the saying? Have a cake and eat it too. She's able to get the house, the car, money. She has a secure life. And usually these women are the ones that put it out there, you know, like they're in a happy family. But she could still do her own shit. You know, go on girls trips, blow money. You know, this is a feminist movement. This is what feminists do. And I've even seen it in cases where people that I've known, and yeah, they have kids and she has cheated and she's out there saying that she's done it all by herself, knowing that her husband is the one that's keeping her in place, giving her the stability. But if she does something, it's all about me, 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 me. I did it. You know, showing the designer clothes, showing all the girls trips. That's a feminist movement. But they're not going to divorce the husbands because they're beta males. And I feel bad for the kids because they're looking at that. You know, this is the new generation. That's why I attack these women, because they're going to affect the next generation. They're destroying society today. But what scares me is the next generation. I have a son. I have an obligation now to show him the true reality of the world. I even have nieces now. And I want to protect them as much as possible because today's society is scary. I can't even fathom to see how the future is going to be. So this is the reality that we live in. So if I give you guys examples, it's because I've seen it. You know, most of the stuff that I talk about, it's either because I've seen it, I've heard it. I'm a tattoo artist, so I see so much fuckery, or I listen to so much fuckery, the degeneracy, everything. And it just makes me question myself, like if I ever want to get married in today's society. It's very scary times, and I'm pretty sure you guys feel it the same way. But what do we do about it? You know, the people that are unplugged to understand that this is the issue. And today I'm talking about feminists. So like, if these women are doing such ugly stuff in today's society, how do we fix it? You know, I've thought about it so much, you know, and that's why I do podcast episodes like this, so that way you guys could listen to me and I make you guys aware. Because there's a lot of takes that I talk about and I explain what's happening in society. And for some people, it might be hard to listen to. But this is the reality. this is the fucking reality. If we keep going through society living in a bubble, our kids are going to face the consequence because of something that we had control over. There has to be a movement to stop this shit. And it all starts with men as well. If men were much more stronger, much more masculine, much more stoic, they wouldn't make these women feel so entitled, because the thing about feminists is that they feel entitled to the world because of how much the world caters to them, even though they say that they feel so oppressed, which they're not. It just sucks that a lot of people are blind. But the thing is, I'm here to tell you guys, I'm not going to back down, no matter how much hate I get for talking on these points, because I see it through YouTube, TikTok. I don't give a fuck. I think I've developed the art of not giving a fuck. Having hate, having people talk shit about me. Trust me, I've developed this strong mindset myself to me voicing my opinion and giving you guys value. Because if they have much to say, get on a podcast. Buy the equipment. Do what you need to speak out. But they won't. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to speak my mind while you sit there and listen. I'm talking to the haters. Because everybody has them, and the ones that are listening, like, potentially could be feminists. You guys have to change. You guys have to change the mentality of the way you think, because you're destroying society. It's not benefiting anybody. It really isn't. I think it only benefits the top 10% of guys, because feminists, they don't want the majority of guys. They think that they're on top of the world. But they look up to the guys that are rich, the ones that are actually doing shit in life. So it's benefiting them. But anybody else, they look down on men. That's what I'm saying. There's so much hate with that. And, there's been messages that I've gotten, people telling me I'm misogynist because I'm speaking on women. I'm like, well, I'm just speaking on a certain amount of women, a very small percentage. Don't take words out of my mouth. And that's the thing about it. That's what women, feminists do. They'll take something small that you said, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's misogynist." There's videos that I share on my Instagram that make fun of these women on these panels, these OnlyFans girls, especially them, man. That's the thing about it. Like, 90% of married men are subscribed to OnlyFans. You can look it up. Like, after this episode, or pause it, go to Google and go put what's the percentage of married men on OnlyFans. It's 90%. I think it's 89 if you want to be exact. Like, that's fucking insane. These are married men. So that means that 10% of guys are actually just looking at their wife. Like, that's insane. So, like, the math with that, it's mind-boggling, because men, obviously, they have to be better. Yeah. And that's why I shitted on Manda, like, 2 episodes ago. We're just calling them out, calling them weak, and what weak men do to society as well. But today it's about feminists. But the thing is like, man, I think if men stop doing that shit, maybe these women will be like, you know what? My value isn't worth showing my fucking booty hole for $5.99 every month. That's fucking insane. And it sucks because these women are not ashamed. Before, you would feel special as a guy when a girl would send you a nude. A girl that you're interested in, and, you're talking to her. Like, it was a special thing back in the day. Be like, oh fuck, like, you know, it's a good feeling as a man because you know it was hard to get. Now these women are just putting it out there like nothing. When your future husband is the only one that should see your goods like that. And this is just OnlyFans. Fuck, I know women that are giving that shit out for free. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's an influence. Even if they're not on OnlyFans, they're giving that shit out for free. Nobody's talking about that, but obviously you can't report that. There's hard ways to report that or even find it. You know, there's an issue with all of that. I know I talked about on the last episode for women to find quality men, and I forgot to base one on social media. I know I said that the woman has to have her profile private. Well, she also can have apps like Snapchat, WhatsApp. Like, there's so many ways for women to hide what they're doing. And what I'm trying to make the point of is that Feminist, there's websites, I think there's pages that I've seen from women that I know. And there's these fucking pages of like, if we're dating the same man, if, I don't know, it's like how to hide from your man and stuff like that. I've seen these pages. I think next time I'll talk a little bit based on it. And I'm actually going to show you guys the proof because I should have done a little bit more research on that so that way I could show you. But there's pages like this. There's groups of women that are truly trying to do the most degenerate stuff out there towards the man that they're with. I think where I saw it was Reddit. I don't think it was Facebook. It was Reddit. And the thing about Reddit is that you don't know who it is. You could just make a fake profile. So people are just literally forming groups and having a whole community of doing some fuck shit. It's crazy. It really, really is. And, you know, we all say it's a fucking sad time that we live in. I mean, we all say it. We all grew in the wrong time. I wish it was 1940. Maybe 1920. At least to have a taste of what it is to actually have a woman that only gives you that attention. And not having that attention for the world. Before, of course, the World War II, because men were drafted. So at least I would have had a little taste of what love is, or at least what true love is, I guess, because now you give a woman everything. You give her flowers, you give her dates, you give her trips, you give her, you know, everything that you're supposed to. And she's not even going to be appreciative. You know, I'm talking about the feminist, the small percentage of women. Because I still haven't lost hope that there's good women out there. I know that there's good women out there. So it just sucks because you hear it on these podcasts where women are talking and they're like, it's a turnoff when a guy is too good for me. You know, it sucks because you see this shit everywhere or on TikTok and on X. I'm going to see if I can find an example here because I know I had some of them saved. Let's see. That's another thing too, is like, for the women that are listening, please be careful with who you listen to, how you get influenced, because now, like I talked about it before, we live in a society where women feel so free with their fucking body, being sexualized and just showing all their goodies off for free. Like, you're hurting yourself to find a true husband. Like, if you think that you could do this in your 20s up until like mid 35s, and then you think that you're going to find a husband after, you live in a delusional world. That's not going to happen because he's going to see your past. He's going to see everything that you've done in the past. So don't think that everything you're doing right now is going to just wipe away from the face of the earth that like it didn't exist, because it's going to disqualify you from finding the good man. So don't have these feminist movement traits, because that's what it is. Feminists are the ones that are pushing sexual empowerment. They're pushing this boss babe mentality. It's not the good women. There's good women out there, but they're not pushing showing your fucking cleavage in every photo that you take. The gym clothes that you wear, how tight they are. Like, man, you could break it down in so many things now because there's just so many examples to give. And women, please, you got to be careful, because if you're not, don't be crying and complaining in the future where you can't find a good husband or a good guy that's going to take you as a wife. It's going to be your fault. And I'm telling you guys now, like, this feminist movement, it's going to destroy everything. That's why, like I told you, I have an obligation now, especially me having a son. He's already a teenager. In a few years, if I don't get him ready mentally, he's going to crash. And the thing is I crashed myself from experience because I was blind. I was in love, quote unquote. And if you're not aware about the people that you're with in a relationship, it could really fuck your life up. So let me see. Man, I have so many examples. I have this on X. Where can I start? I'm just gonna read a story. Okay, so this is a feminist. This is on Reddit. So I'm gonna put it up on the screen so people that are on YouTube, you guys could actually see it on the screen. Where is it? Right there. Share. So this is the story. A feminist. You know, she went down the narrative of, you know, pursuing a life, you know, having your own house, hanging that beautiful bachelor fucking certificate on the wall. And it ended up collapsing in her face. So let me read it. So ex-sex worker, feeling like the internet has lied to me about my dating prospects. Need a dose of truth. Yeah, so putting it all out there, I used to be an escort in my 20s and a tiny bit into my early 30s. I still cam a little on the side, but I'm essentially financially independent. I own my own home and I'm starting a small online business. So actually I read a different one, but she owned a business as well, and she had her fucking degree on the wall. So I never took dating seriously and never looked for a real relationship until I turned 30. After which I had a sudden desperate urge to settle down. And see, this is where it usually happens. Women party in their 20s, and then when they realize that their time clock is running out, now they want a husband. So after which I had a sudden desperate urge to settle down. I've been dating for more than 4 years now, and I'm feeling beyond dejected. I truly believe no man will ever be able to accept my past and see me for who I am. And I'm worried I can't do anything about it. But the annoying thing is that I can't help but feel really misled by the internet. I feel like every time I've posted a question about sex work and dating online, at least 80% of the replies from men are something like, I don't care what your past is like. Being a sex worker is not a deal breaker for me. So this is what I talked about earlier in the episode. 80% of the guys, they're not going to care because they're beta males. You've probably been the only one, like the most attractive woman that he's ever seen or that he's ever had a chance with. You know, there's this issue right now in the church where, you know, I'm talking about the small percentage of women. I don't want to hurt any feelings right now if you're doing this, but this is just for the small percentage. Women that are partying in their 20s, they're doing all fucking 304 stuff, and then now they want to go into church. That's causing a lot of conflict because there's men in there that are actual virgins, actually men that study the Bible and live by the word of God. And they're meeting these ex whores that used to do all these fucking crazy shit in the past, and then they're meeting this really good guy. That's really bad. That's a really bad combination. I'm sorry. Like, I'm very sorry, because I know people are going to take that very offensive. But the thing is that this is becoming a movement. Like, I've been noticing it. And statistics prove it, that the more women, or the more the body count is high on the woman, the more the chances of that divorce happening. Like, you having a happy marriage, having a high body count as a woman, it's non-existent for you to have a happy marriage. It just isn't. So let me continue. This has not been true for me in real life. I've been on countless dates, and the ones that have gone relatively well all abruptly ended the moment I told them about my sex work in the past. I haven't met a single normalish guy who's been okay with my past. There have been tons that just wanted to hook up, but that's not what I'm looking for either. Like I said, the majority of guys are only going to use you. Even if they're successful and they understand the nature of women, you're only recreational use for them. They're not going to take you serious. They're not going to get on the knee and give you the ring. So that's not a flex. So where are all these internet men in real life? Are people just flat out lying online about this sort of stuff? Or am I just going after the wrong type of men? I'm mostly attracted to professional, clean-cut men around my own age, but no one thus far has shown even the tiniest bit of interest in looking past my history. Am I just a lost cause? And has the internet been feeding me lies? Yes, it has. I'm sorry to tell you, but it has, and this is the reality of the world. And this is the case that's happening with many women. So to women that are listening to this, that are young, and you could save your future, start doing things right now. Like, start behaving well today. If you want a good husband. If you don't want a good husband or a future, then keep doing whatever you're doing. But don't be complaining after. Don't be complaining whenever you hit a wall, which is in your 30s. Because women do have a time clock. If they do want to have kids, or they want to have a husband, the sooner you can get married, the better. And these are just on research. You know, most guys, they want to settle down with somebody that's younger. So your youth years as a woman, you're supposed to preserve them, be pure, because that's what guys are going to look at. And look at this case with this woman. This is just one example, but this happens all over the place. I see it. Even if you weren't a sex worker, even if you were like a bartender or a stripper, like, most guys are going to look at that job and be like, no, I know you had a lot of experience with guys, or you were around a lot of guys. The stimulus that women receive with an abundance, it destroys them. It's almost like having a high body count in a way, because it does affect them mentally. Because women love what? Attention. I'm not just talking shit. Like, this is just the base reality of what happens. And this is just one example. And the thing is that most of these women, they end up settling for somebody less than what they really wanted. And she lives miserable. She's like, fuck, I'm going to just settle because he has money. She might not be attracted to him, but because he could give her a good life, he's going to settle for her. Or she's going to settle for him. If they do even connect. This is the case. That's why people get into relationships, especially if the guy does not understand the nature of women, especially if he doesn't have an abundance. And by what I mean by abundance is that no other woman wants to be after him. You know, you as a woman, you're going to be like, well, why am I attracted to him? But the thing is that once women hit a certain time in their life, they try to either get married quick, start having babies, and then they get forced to build a family. But it wasn't because of a beautiful connection. That's not happening as much as it used to be. Like, people that are married today, protect it, man. Protect it, because out here in the culture, it is so fucked right now. Like, extremely fucked. Like, I would rather be married right now with a feminine quality woman than being out here, you know, with the culture of how jacked up it is. So to the man, if you have a great wife, a great partner, protect it. And same as a woman. If you have a good man that's trying, that's doing all he can, protect it. You know, do whatever you can. There's obviously things that you can't work through, especially if it's already, you know, a good time passed, and you give that person so many chances. You know, you always have a decision to make at the end of the day. You really do. You don't have to forcefully stay with somebody if they're bringing you misery. You know, whether it be domestic violence, abuse, like those are the cases. Yes, leave your partner. But don't leave your partner because you just hate the way he fucking snores. You know, you hear these fucking stories. It's fucking insane. So, see, and this is the reality of it. I'm going to just read another story. Let's see, where is it? Let me take off my glasses because actually I'm losing my vision. I've been recording for a while today, but I want to bring you guys value. So let me see, where is it? All right, so this is what a guy said. And this sucks, man, because like I said, a guy that's unaware of the type of woman that he finds. This is more for the guys that you have to be careful who you're with, because this is going to be the result. So I'm going to put it up on the stage so that way you guys could see it. Let's see. All right. So a girlfriend of 8-year cheats. I'm a 28-year-old male. Recently found out my 32-year-old female girlfriend cheated on me with another man. I found out because they used her phone to film their encounter while I was out of town. Coincidentally, I was using my girlfriend's iPad that was synced with her iCloud. You could imagine my reaction as I saw the videos. Fidelity has been a major point in this relationship. Both of us have swore to remain faithful, and I have been faithful through these 8 years of relationship. Not even porn. I gave up a stable job to move internationally to another country as she was accepting a new position in that country. I bought a car to help her facilitate her work commute, and when she faced financial hardships, I supported her with the remnants of my savings. I talked about our future with all of my friends, and as she is, even now, on exceedingly good terms with all of my friends. I was ready to pop the question any moment, even discussed it with both sides of the family. Now everything is down the drain. All I see are flashes of the videos when I sleep. I don't know how to recover from this. So I'm sorry, guys. My vision is bad, so I couldn't really focus too much on it. But this is the reality of what happens to men whenever they end up being with such a bad woman. Most of the cases, a woman that's feminized and that's been modernized. These are the results. And it's crazy because it was 8 years? And if this man understood the nature of a woman, to see the bad red flags that he probably missed, you know, this wouldn't have happened. But like I said, women that come into a marriage, sometimes they don't even have the feminist traits. They get developed with time, especially if the man does not have a frame. If the man is not masculine, he's not stoic, he doesn't put boundaries, this is the result. Like, I'm literally giving you guys a sauce. This is the result. If a man does not have a frame and is masculine and can't lead that relationship, the woman is going to develop this from the world, from her friends, from the TV, from the stuff that she listens to, the music. She gets what? Modernized. She gets influenced. So remember how I said earlier, most feminists, most of these women that are bad, they're going to settle to be with the beta male because they know that they could get away with anything. These are the ones that are going to go on girls trips to Vegas, to Miami, being surrounded by men, and her husband being at home. Okay, babe, I hope you have a good time. Like, these fucking idiots are stupid, man. Like, it pisses me off. I'm like, somebody just has to fucking slap the fuck out of them. I'm like, bro, like, look at what's happening and you're allowing it. These are people that live in a bubble. And if this is why boundaries are supposed to be set and women are supposed to abide by them. Because if you leave women to their own choices, they're usually not good choices, especially if it's in the group of women. There's always that one in that group that tries to fuck it up for everybody. The one that's more wilder than everybody else. So, man, you guys have to do better as well. If you guys want a woman to take your lead, you guys have to be men that are respectable, that can lead in today's society. You have to. Like, the game has changed. It's no longer you having a decent job and coming home and just living a normal life like that. You have to excel. You really have to. To some, you guys are going to look at me like, what the fuck is he talking about? I have a happy life. It works for me. Like, it's good. It works for you. You know, there's only a few examples, but it doesn't break the rule of the reality, what happens as a whole. If it works for you, that's great. But for men that are unaware of the reality of what women are doing out here, you guys have to really be at the top tier of men. Like, you hear it on podcast episodes everywhere. And I'm just here to remind you, like, you have to push to be top tier as a man. If not, you're gonna be left behind. We live in a society today that it's very hard for the low percentage of men that are not pursuing higher things in life, whether it be finances, looking well, being having a social circle. Like, you have to have all these things in order. Because if you don't, man, life is going to fly by and you're going to be like, what the fuck just happened? I wasn't able to get a wife. I wasn't able to attract women. You got to start as soon as possible. Because these women, if you don't understand the nature of women, you're going to get destroyed. Because that's what's happening. Look at the stats. Look at everything that's out there. And one of the last things I'm going to talk about on this episode, because I'm already over an hour, but if you're a man, and reasons why I tell you guys have to be at the peak as a man. Because I truly feel like a woman should be a housewife. That you could provide for her, give her the beautiful life, and her just worry about the kids. Like, how beautiful would that be? But now the mentality with women is like, no, I want to be a fucking boss babe, this and that. But what does that develop? The woman to be more masculine. She's taking orders from a fucking male boss, most cases, but comes home and nags at you. You know, it's just the base reality of it. And then there's another study as well. 85% of affairs start at work. It's with coworkers. Like, if you have a woman and you've had issues of infidelity on her part, and she works like in a corporate job, surrounded by men, bro, you're playing with fire. It's a guarantee she's going to backstab you again, or she is going to backstab you if you have issues, or she's too close to these guy friends at the fucking job that she works at, especially if it's a male-dominated field. Like, I wouldn't want that as a wife. I would hate that. I would just be like, yeah, just do you, you know, that's okay. But you're not going to be my wife. I'm not going to involve myself in that. There's things I look at in a woman as well. And that's one of them, is that she is not in a male-dominated job. My job as a man will be to give her a beautiful life where she doesn't have to work. She can if she wants to, but I don't want no boss that's a male telling her what to do, or her being around male coworkers. Call it insecure, call it whatever you want. But the thing about it is, it's protection. I protect the kingdom in my kingdom, and that's just the way I'm going to run it. If you don't like it, that's the way it is. You know, look at the culture. Then you wonder why people don't have these strong traits to lead their family with. And then they wonder why it collapsed. The husband cheated or the wife cheated. It starts with the man. So that's another thing that I wanted to tell you guys. You know, most feminists, they want to be working and they want to earn a lot of money. But remember what I said in the beginning of the episode. If the woman makes more money than her husband or her potential boyfriend to be fiance, husband in the future, she's going to lose attraction. She cannot respect a man that makes less than her. Because in reality, it's like she's taking care of him. The guy is just a beta male. Like, I would feel like shit if my woman ever made more money than me. Which that's never going to happen. Because I put myself in the top tier as a man. And I'm still going to put myself in that top tier. So that never happens. And I have the option to give that to my future wife. But most guys, they can't give that option. That's why I keep saying, living a natural, normal life is not enough in today's society. It works for some people, yes. Maybe our grandparents. You know, our grandparents, it sucks because I wish I lived in their generation, you know, because they were able to get respected both ways. For the most part, you know, the nuclear, beautiful, traditional family that used to be. But it just sucks because they don't understand either what's happening in our society today, especially with social media, especially with the phones. You no longer need dating apps. Look at Instagram. Look at Facebook. You know, look at who your partner's adding. Look at who your partner's inviting into their space in that social media profile. So as you guys see, it's all a fuckery. And I'm pretty sure you guys are like, what the fuck? Like this is a lot. Yeah, it is a lot. And it sucks because I've dealt with that personally. I've dealt with feminists myself. I've dealt with feminists myself, not knowing that they were feminist. I found that out later because I reflected. I was like, oh shit, that behavior was very feminist. It was just things that I was blind to. So that's why I'm telling you guys this information, because it could make somebody aware and it could help you guys understand the way that the world is today. You know, my heart got fucking shattered once I found this stuff out. I was like, shit, man, I thought I was doing my best. In reality, I was just either getting used and taken advantage of. But that's why I could talk about this. I used to be that beta male. I used to be that guy that, you know, put that woman on a pedestal. I used to be all that. That's why I could talk about it, because now my mindset has shifted completely. Now I think very different. I've had an awakening as a man to be unplugged from the reality of how the world is activating right now or how it's moving. It's a complete shift that I've done. And I had to, because I had to get hurt first. I had to go through that. Because if I didn't, I think I still would have been blind. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this information, you guys could take it. Do whatever you guys want with it. Because as that saying goes, you can only walk the horse to the water. I can't force you to drink it. And sometimes it's good to put advice out there. But it's up until you get hurt that you make the shift. I was like that. I heard this information early on, but I just didn't understand it until it happened to me. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's what they were talking about. And that's why I was like, I gotta change. I have to do something different with my life. I started reading books like crazy, studying psychology, even what therapists, psychologists are teaching. And I'm still doing that religiously. Like, I wake up and I just do this all day long. I've gone down the rabbit hole so far that I'm like, I have to get this information out because I can't just keep it for myself. I want to help somebody out that's listening. Because there's just too many hurt people out there, people that are going through the world blindly, not knowing what they're getting themselves into, what partner they have next to them. Like most people, they don't know what to do. They're stuck. And for the people that want to have a beautiful life, that are seeking that partner, be wary. All this information I'm giving you guys, I've done it for men and women on what to look at. I'm going to keep talking about it through the next episodes because maybe there's some points that I missed. Because right now what I talk about is just things that I have already here in my notes and the videos that I wanted to show you guys. So thank you guys for bearing with me. Because right now, man, my eyes, I think I'm losing my vision very, very slowly, but yeah, I'm really motivated to give you guys this value. So I do thank you guys for making it far in this episode. And I will keep putting a lot of value out. I'll try not to do it at 3 a.m. But I'm just motivated. I'm motivated for helping people and you guys listening to this information because I can't just keep it for myself. So guess what? That's why I have a podcast. I'm going to give you guys the best quality value that I could give you. And as you guys could see, like each episode, I'm pretty sure you guys, the ones that have followed me from the very beginning, I think I've gotten a little bit better, right? Like now the logo here at the top, I was able to fix it a little bit. So I've done improvements. I've been, doing my research and I'm going to hit this hard. I'm going to keep giving you guys value, like true value. I'm not just going to be on here talking shit, giving stories about my exes and putting them down. I'll give examples as to what happened to me, but their life is their life. Sometimes we don't have to talk shit about people like that because that their life is going to get destroyed by themselves anyways. So call it whatever you want, but we live in a society where people are going blindly through life. And the more information that we have, the better we're going to be. Knowledge is power and we have to use it. So thank you guys for listening. I know I keep going, but I'll see you guys on the next one. I appreciate it so much. Much love. Luna out.